just pimped Uncle John's ride with some stickers. Right, more tape, Vicar. So, welcome back to the channel. I'm just cleaning up mould parts. So, the last video, obviously, we took the mould off the clam and it left quite a bit of damage to the clam. It is fixable, but there's a lot of work in fixing it, and it's just going to be easier to do the finishing work we need to do to the mould and pop another one and make a new piece rather than trying to fix it. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going around the edges with a bit of 180. I've got a bit I can show you. He's away to get his car washed because you told him I'd put his stickers on.
I says you might want to ask Richard to do that because I didn't want to do it like
yeah. So I'm just knocking these edges off here. I'm not going crazy at it. I'm not trying to get it perfect.
No.
I'm just knocking the sharp bits off, and I'm going 180, 400, and doing my best to stay off.
These bits are overlapping bits, aren't they? So
yeah. Yeah, it's got the tiny little ridge on it, so if I do that both faces, that'll give us the... Because we want to be able to run our finger down it when we're putting the bloody plasticine in as well.
That's the side that bolts together. This is actually the side I put on.
Yeah, that's...
So you can flat that off more.
Well, that's the actual face, though, that bit. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid...
That's what I put on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid marking it, but hopefully...
Gives you somewhere to cut to anyway.
Yeah, hopefully the what do you call it? The spray will cover a certain amount of.
No, just go with it.
Because it's going to give us a new surface, really, isn't it?
Sort of. It won't totally make it glossy.
So I'm just showing these guys. Where are you, Jonathan? Look at Jonathan. Yeah, he got metal in his eye the other day. Well, rust in his eye.
Just,
working underneath the car. And so he's been out of order for the last couple of days, so we haven't had a weekend shift. I've had a couple of days off, which I think it's actually been quite nice. Have a bit of a break from it. But I don't think I need to like 800 them.
No.
Like,
no, not on them, no.
It's just, if I go on, I mean, that's just a little nib. And again, I don't think that's going to matter because when we go over that with that spray, it's going to delete.
Yeah, try and get it out.
I can get it smoother than that, but I don't think that 400 grit sanding is going to be affected, make an effect in the finish. Yeah, because of the
1200 and finish the.
Yeah, any major bits that are in like the thing, then yeah.
Probably going to black them bits anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, that's like a tape edge. I don't know what that is. See, that's like a tape edge there. I could take that out as well, couldn't I?
Yeah.
So this is the top vent section. I think it's the only bit that came off without any damage at all to the clam. That's just these edges where it all meets, where each part of the mould meets. When it went up to the fences, and with fiberglassed up to the fences, because those fences aren't where we'd put the plasticine in, some little voids, and that leaves a sharp edge. So when we come to put these moulds back together, we want these a bit smoother, so it's just a bit easier to wipe the plasticine into the joint, but trying not to scratch the surface of the actual face of the mould. I'm doing it with 180 and then going over it with 400. Some bits actually feel fine, they haven't got sharp edges or jaggy bits or anything, so I'm just going for the bits that are sticking up, sharp edged. See, a lot of this is fine, it's just the jaggy edges that I'm going to get off, really. If it's reasonably smooth, I don't think we need to go at it too much. Fabio's over there working on his car. He's took a week off to try and smash some work out on his S13. So we're leading up to starting a poll to get you to do a burnout, or some sort of like get Jonathan to do a proper burnout. Any burnout would be better than the little tyre squeals he does though. It's an awkward bit, there's some little blisters in that bit. That first coat of gel coat and then the first coat of fiberglass. It's critical. A lot of the little problems that we've had have been in little corners where just haven't quite got it deep enough in there. Someone's just turned up with a Cosworth V6 engine sitting on a pallet on a forklift truck. Jonathan says it's his spare engine. He doesn't even use the engine that he's got. So I've sanded the edges on all the pieces that I've took off so far. I'm going to now take off these sections here, sand them edges. I'll probably do that one, then the sides. I don't know, but that's what's coming off now anyway. We didn't put all the bolts in and they're not all tight, it was just to put the mould together. So we've got a bit of 80, 180 and 400. The 80's for if there's any big lumps, but I shouldn't need it on this. All I'm doing is taking any sharp bits off really, rounding that edge off slightly. It just gives, when we put the plasticine in, it gives it a little recess to sit in. I'm trying to avoid scratching the actual face of the panel, so I'm working more on the side of the fence. While you were away, we've just pimped Uncle John's ride with some stickers. He wanted some stickers fired on it. He says it takes your eye off the paintwork. Yeah, it looks alright though. Edgewise, I'm going to now take this to bits and start working on the back panel and the quarters. Thought I'd do a little walk around. There's been quite a bit of talk about the vent. A couple of people commenting on the videos. Originally, I had intended on the 3D printed vent that fits the hole and sat onto that lip and sat above, you know, like so it was a reasonable amount of thickness. I think it would look better sat up than sat down, kind of for a visual, you know, so it looks deeper. The hole won't look deeper, but the vent will look deeper for it. So yeah, no, I'm not too sure. It is going to be difficult to make an edge that works. It is just a temporary vent as well. See, if I'd wanted it on top, underneath, then I mean I can still do it, but I would have to shape these a lot better. See there, it's not really set up for it. I would have to do quite a bit of straightening out in there. Don't know, but anyway, I haven't touched that in a while, apart from the red seats. Fabio's in today. Who lad's been stuck in the car, hanging over the roll cage. Wiring his fuse box, is it? And you're fusing your relay box. Here he is. You've got a lion bar.
Hold it down.
A lion bar and a. Are you doing bleeding the brakes?
Yeah. Just keep some pressure on it, John. I'll check for leaks.
So this is the Fiat Coupe that was in for the pistons. The guys put it through an MOT and it's failed. So. Oh, Jonathan's got it back doing brake stuff, and you really like working on Fiats, don't you?
Nope.
Yeah, he's a Fiat specialist. If anybody's got a Fiat, especially Fiat Coupes.
Yeah. I've got lots of petrol and a big match to light them with.
He's your glamorous assistant. Suppose I better go and do some more sanding. And it'll never be done. So I've got the back to bits now, and yeah, gonna do those edges. All those ones are done. So, but I've also got the repairs to do on these bits. So there's nothing really to repair on these. Everything's just going to fill at the edge with plasticine. So it's just like little edgy bits. So yeah, I'll get on with sanding these. So this is the bit where the worst of the white stuck to the panel. that's that one done, all the edges are done. I'm gonna do the back panel before I start to get onto these. So this does need built up in both of these sections, and that's quite a long bit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run some silver tape up either side of it and roll it back, so that'll create like a sealed channel, and then I'm gonna run the resin into that channel, let it set, and that will create like quite a controlled ridge that then is hopefully big enough to sand back to get to that profile. And I'll have to sand it all and polish it, so I'll have to be really careful on the other sides as well. Tricky repair really, but it's the worst bit of the mould. Everything else isn't too bad at all. It's just this panel front. This one went dry. There is a couple of other spots like this, so definitely shows me to be more careful on edges and stuff. But this panel was a bit of a disaster with what happened with the resin anyway. So but yeah, that's all the edges done anyway. So I'll get onto that back panel now. Welcome back to the channel. This is probably midway through the last video, but hello. Just thought I'd show you where I'm up to, because I've been here a little bit and not been recording. So yesterday I was cleaning up all the edges, and today I'm on with the repairs on them swage lines. So what I've done, so we had an area like this, and that's the big one that ran along, and I've put silver tape either side. I'm going to fill that channel with resin, with gel, with the red gel coat, and then I'm going to squish the join these two bits of tape together. Therefore, like, the resin won't be able to run out, and hopefully we'll be able to recreate that edge pretty well and do the same there. I've got a little bit to do on there, and I've got just a little hole to fill there. Other than that, I don't think I've got any other repairs to do really. Once I've got all these rough edges sanded up and that, it does look a lot better. So look what Jonathan's doing. In fact, let's just have a look at Jonathan. I just burn them ends off, you know.
You can't with this stuff.
The wires that I use are so bloody fine, eh?
The fine stuff will burn off. It's just, what do you call it? Poly something or other.
I've tried, like, you know, paring it back, but they're absolutely tiny, and you don't want to lose any of the wire fibres at all. So I just use, you know, the little blowtorch lighters.
Aye.
So it like burns it really quickly.
Yeah.
And then I just get my nail and just pull it off.
Aye.
Works like.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So this is him hacking into the controller board, I suppose it is, for the, is this like the main board?
It used to be the TCU, yeah.
For these gearbox things that he's doing with them things there.
That whole thing in there, that weird looking circuit board, used to control it, but we're going to do an external controller.
So you're bypassing it essentially?
Yeah. So all the solenoids, sensors, that's temperature sensor, speed sensors, they're all going to jump across to these pins, which all go to the plug.
Yeah.
So luckily there's 16 pins on there, so there's plenty of pins to do what we need to do.
Is this an original part then? Have you added
this? All
that right, yeah. So that plug is...
That plugs into the mechatronics.
Megatronics?
Mechatronics, so it's mechanical electronics.
All right.
So they call it a mechatronics board. So that plug goes through out of the gearbox. There's like a seal bit goes in there, and so bypassing all this gets it out of the box.
What's this here then?
Well, this is just some information from a firm called Turbolamic, which do a controller, but they're quite expensive, so we're going to try and do our own. But I'm just using their wiring
Because it just tells you where everything is
Yeah,
going.
also if we have problems with our system, we can always revert back to that and just plug it in.
Does that thing there then become totally obsolete
Yes.
when you do this? It's completely bypassed
Yeah,
and using
I can
nothing.
dig it out of there and
Right.
not use it at all. All the little wires have gone. Huh? No more BMW.
Impressive. I'll take you over and have a look at Fabio's antics.
Antics. Another day of twiddling wire.
So what he's doing now, these plugs there that go through the bulkhead, so these here, he's wiring them up for both sides. So like the engine bay stuff needs to go into one side, and then the engine bay stuff comes out the other side and into the car and into the main harness.
Continuity checking everything so I know what's what. Because there's a lot of wires in this Nissan that have been used for, well, multiple things, but they're all the same colour.
And then on the roof, I don't know whether you can hear that, but it sounds like a couple of birds are having a right old pagger. They're proper going for it, aren't they? Right, more tape, Vicar. So I just want that up to the edge, but I don't want it to go into the cavity, because I want to be able to fill the cavity with the resin. I don't expect this to be perfect first time, but I want as much build as I can get on it, and then just make some slight alterations on the next coat, I imagine. Right, so I've had these sat outside baking in the sun. I've pulled one off. It's worked pretty well. There's a slight edge there, but take no sanding to tidy that up, and then just take the top edge off and it'll be all good. So let's have a look at these ones. That's worked really well. Next to no sanding on either side, just taking the top off. Same again there. That's what I'm chuffed with that. Something went right. Let's have a look. That's grand, that is. Hard to tell with that one. It looks like I might need to. I might have got most of it. Like there's a tiny little hole there. Get the shadow out of the way. Tiny little hole there. A couple of little bits there, but not bad at all. Won't take much finishing off, I don't think. Just noticed I've managed to get gel coat all over the camera. God, that wreck shit. Just trying to scrape it off. Yeah, pleased with that. Right, I'm gonna go. I've got a consultation to do back at the tattoo studio, so I'll go and do that. Half an hour drive, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. Back to the studio, do the consultation, and then I'm gonna come back and carry on with them. So we'll resume the video when I get back. So I spotted a little hole and poked at it, and there's still been an air bubble in there, so I'll have to dab a little bit more in there. That bit there I won't need to, that'll be plasticine. As soon as I'm having to do some more, got that bit there. I've found another bit on the other panel as well, so I'll do that bit and then get it up to that stage, do that bit, and another coat of resin. So that's us almost there with these repairs. A tiny little bit there to do, tiny little edge there to do. On that one I've also done a repair there and there and there and there. That's the bit where I've polished that bit of white out, so that's the polish, and all these are to polish as well once they're right, but I've still got a little bit of a tweak to put on it yet. It's almost there, almost. And the other one's very similar, got that edge, it's not right down to the edge, but it's going to be, that'll fill with the plasticine when we seam that anyway. And a tiny little hole in there as well, which to be fair probably will just fill with plasticine and be fine. And we've got my jagging bits because I've got some squeaky suspension. Jonathan thinks it's coming from this bolt down here, don't know, but it's annoying, so I'm going to have a look at that before I go home. So once I've got my jag suspension looked at, that'll be me for the day. Tomorrow I'll finish off them bits, do the polishing and that, so fingers crossed should have the mould ready to go tomorrow. The plan is to finish off them bits, polish them, get the mould put back together and get the plasticine in it, and then I'm going to use a spray release agent rather than the wax. I'll probably still give it a wax and then put the spray on. But yeah, that's where we're at today. So hopefully we should have the mould together tomorrow, ready to start casting into it, but I won't be putting anything in it. And apparently, yeah, you can't see it in the background there, but Fabio reckons he might have some brum brum noises on the S13 tomorrow, so that'd be good. So I'm here tomorrow, and then I'm working Friday, Saturday. So we'll be pestering Jonathan for another Sunday shift, and hopefully put some fiberglass into the mould. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Lots more sanding, same old really, but I want to try and document as much of the process as possible, so people get an idea of what it's took to get to this stage, you know what I mean? So don't want to miss any bits out, even if they're boring. So yeah, thanks for watching, subscribing, pressing buttons, sharing and all that good stuff, and we'll make another video tomorrow. Bye for now.